Lady Macbeth, an egotistical character who is Shakespeare's most famous heroine. In this play, she is the root of malevolence, with a close connection to the protagonist Macbeth. Being his wife will have a plethora of advantages, but with great power does come great responsibility. As one of the main characters in the play, she shows her salient features through speech, action, and interaction with other characters, most notably when she asks spirits that tend on mortal thoughts to unsex her, or when she coerces her husband into the regicide of King Duncan. When she is first introduced in Act 1, Scene 5, she waits for Duncan, the King of Scotland. She shows that she was implacable in her desire to seize the throne, as she calls upon spirits that tend on mortal thoughts to unsex her and change her mindset of caring and nurturing others into violence and hatred. This is because she wanted to kill Duncan herself. She wants spirits that are in charge of her human thoughts to change it into spiritual thoughts. This means that she wants to swap her spiritual thoughts with those of her human thoughts. She shows that she has much more willpower than that of her husband. As Macbeth hesitates and contemplates on his powers, Lady Macbeth knows what she has to do in order to satisfy her ambition. Not only is she driven to influence Macbeth, but she is also shown as pernicious, as she coerces Macbeth into the murder of Duncan. This is evident when she says, "When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man." With this statement in mind, she questions his masculinity and challenges if he is a man or not. And soon enough, Macbeth changes his mind and does kill Duncan. In Act 1, Scene 6, when Duncan arrives, Lady Macbeth is shown as well-mannered and innocent, but inside she has malicious thoughts about Duncan. After expressing her malicious thoughts to Macbeth, she is finally able to coerce him. At the end of Act 2, after the death of Duncan, Lady Macbeth faints and has to be carried out of the room. She has to act like she didn't know that Duncan had been murdered. In this scene, we find that Lady Macbeth is cunning and manipulative. Her actions in this scene had given Macduff the impression that she wasn't connected to the murder of the king. In the play, she resembles the use of witchcraft, an act forbidden in the Jacobean time. This was shown through the mentioning of spirits in her soliloquies. After being consumed by ambition, she finds out that the events that had occurred had become too much for even the strongest of women. She becomes mentally damaged and soon enough kills herself. In conclusion, during the Jacobean time, women were seen as subservient. Women acted as puppets whilst men were the puppeteers. Lady Macbeth does not conform to these ideas, as she does not follow anything Macbeth says. She plays an extremely influential role in the play, as she has the strongest connection with the protagonist. Her speech, actions, and interactions with other characters are all linked with either ambition or Macbeth. As she shows her overpowering will to Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 7, it tells the audience that she can be the man for both herself and her husband.